Tyler noticed them first. Strange symbols burned into the wall of the shed, not etched, burned, still faintly warm to the touch. They weren't there yesterday. At first he thought maybe it was paint, but the way they shimmered, alive, it felt wrong. Then Kinsey showed him her wrist, a mark, a spiral, glowing faintly, pulsing. She didn't know how she got it, but when she touched it, she felt cold. The marks weren't just appearing, they were spreading. The mirror in the vault wasn't just glass, it was a door, a lens, a memory, a trap. Bodhi leaned in, looking for fingerprints. Instead, his reflection leaned closer first, and it smiled. Before he did, he jumped back, but it didn't. The reflection just waited, and behind it, another reflection, not his, not anyone's, eyes watching, waiting. Kinsey used the head key again to understand her father's warnings, but the moment she entered, she knew something was wrong. Her memories were twisted, the colors off, the people silent. She tried to walk through a door, but it was locked. Then she heard it. A scream, Rendell's, but this wasn't her memory. It wasn't hers to control. She ran through doors that led nowhere, upstairs that folded back into basements. The scream got louder, closer, and just as the walls started melting, she saw him, her father, trapped, screaming, his mouth open, but the sound came from inside her. Nina followed a hunch, an old blueprint, hidden inside Rendell's sketchbook. It showed a crawl space. Behind the wine cellar wall, she crawled in, dust in her throat, cobwebs catching on her sleeves. And then, a room, it felt like it had been untouched for decades. But the drawings on the walls were fresh, sketches of the mirror vault, keys she'd never seen. A lock shaped like an eye, another like a mouth, and in the center of the table, a key half-forged, jagged but glowing. It pulsed like it was dreaming. Nina followed a hunch, an old blueprint, hidden inside Rendell's sketchbook. It showed a crawl space. Behind the wine cellar wall, she crawled in, dust in her throat, cobwebs catching on her sleeves. And then, a room. It felt like it had been untouched for decades. But the drawings on the walls were fresh, sketches of the mirror vault, keys she'd never seen. A lock shaped like an eye, another like a mouth, and in the center of the table, a key, half-forged, jagged but glowing. It pulsed like it was dreaming. The knock came just past midnight. Lucas, or what looked like Lucas, his face calm, his smile soft, too soft. Kinsey opened the door, foolishly, again, in his hand, a key, new, unmarked. It vibrated audibly, almost like a whisper. "This one," he said, "unlocks the soul." He pressed it into her palm. It burned, but not on her skin. Inside, by the time she looked up, he was gone. Bode was following whispers again. That always ended well, right? He heard them through the vents, so he climbed under the stairs, where no one else dared go. A door, tiny, hidden behind an old coat rack. The keyhole was shaped like an eye. He used the soul key and it clicked. Inside, portraits, framed, layered in dust, every lock, from generations past, but one portrait was torn, clawed, and it was his. Tyler turned the soul key in his hand. Heavy, warming, calling. He hesitated, then inserted it into himself. The world fell away, and then he was outside himself, watching. His body stood motionless, but he could see his own soul. Every moment, every memory, every regret. He saw the lie he told Kinsey, the night he burned the letter. He saw how he hated their father. Before he missed him, the soul doesn't lie, not here. Kinsey came back from the memory trap. But the house, it was colder. Shadows didn't just fall anymore. They moved. They stretched along the walls, past the mirrors, and into the rooms. More of them now. Too many. One stood at the stairwell, shapeless, breathing. It whispered, "You've opened what should stay buried," then disappeared into the floor. Bode couldn't resist. He returned to the skull door. This time, he wasn't alone. He opened it slowly. No bones, no piles. A figure, suspended, chained to the ceiling, head low. A whisper. "Let me out before she does." The voice was broken, barely human, but it knew his name. High above Keyhouse, Dodge stood on the roof, her coat whipping in the wind. In her hand, a key, it floated, glowing silver. Then it turned black. She tilted her head, smiled at the moon. "Now," she whispered, "we open everything." And in the sky, the stars began to disappear one by one. Locke Key, Episode 5, The Other Side, coming soon.